Ladies and gentlemen, this is 6 3-minute rounds of an international contest. Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the blue colour shorts trimmed with a lime green. At the weight, he scaled 11 stone, 2 pounds, 8 ounces. Tonight is his 111th professional appearance, presenting from Klaipėda, Lithuania, Arvydas Trizno. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black colour shorts trimmed with gold. At the weight, he scaled 11 stone, 1 pound. He hails from the Lee Blundell camp, captured his first championship belt in the summer, now undefeated in 7 professional contests, 7 wins, one of those wins coming by way of knockouts. The pride of Wigan, here is the undefeated James Moorcroft. Timekeeper at the bell is Gary Grennan from Burnley, star referee in charge of the action, John Latham from Bury. 6 3-minute rounds.
Right, lads, you know, expect from you both, you obey me instructions at all times. When I tell you break, you both break clean. Defend yourselves at all times, and the best luck to you both. Touch gloves.
Interesting to see how James Moorcroft starts this fight.
As we say, he beat Nathan Hardy last time out to win the challenge belt. He said, look, even if he wins bigger titles than that, nothing will quite beat winning that first title.
That's it, man. I'm looking forward to getting my first title someday, and I've just noticed as well his opponent's short. He's got the WBC like logo, the stitching on it. Maybe he's boxed some sort of WBC title. Maybe, I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me. There's a few of them knocking about. We'll have to ask him afterwards. Trizno was also suspended by the Ontario Athletic Commission, even though he's never fought there. So I'd like to know what he got up to when he went to Ontario.
I'm guessing we're not allowed to broadcast it though, whatever it was.
Probably not, no. We'll try and catch him afterwards and see if we can maybe sneak it out next time, as long as it's not too X-rated.
I'm just going back to that last win for James Moorcroft. When he turned professional, he always said he just wanted a title, no matter what it was. And it looks like that will be the last challenge belt that's won. You know, I think the board have stopped them. They're going to come up with their own titles instead. But you could see on his face when he won that title, he was so relieved. It was a massive thing for him and his trainer, Lee Blundell, to get a title under the belt.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of people are very critical of title belts and that there's too many and stuff like that. I mean, but you need to get these titles to make your opponent and make money and make big fights. You know what I mean? You need them titles, I guess. So. Otherwise, just be one champion, and do you know what I mean? And someone can dominate the sport just like Floyd Mayweather.
And you forget as well, some of the continental titles with established fighters could go 10 and 12 rounds and gain that experience. And like you say,
that's it. It's vital, isn't it?
If someone tells you you're fighting for the title, you're not going to say no matter what the belt is.
Of course not. Of course not. It's my dream to win a belt as well. I mean, won numerous amateur titles, like regional titles. I wasn't an amazing amateur by all means, but I'd like to get the opportunity to fight for a title in a professional game.
And speaking of titles, I'd like to give a shout out to the guy who congratulated me on my beard on the way to the toilet. Said I was representing the bearded people, so big thanks for that. He'd had a few, to be fair, but I'm still taking it.
You want to know now, aren't you?
I want to know when it comes to the beards.
So we need someone to criticise it and then make you one-on-one.
I'll just double the growth on this one, get a bit of a Tyson Fury going. The interesting thing about Moorcroft in his last fight, he won the title. I believe he injured his hand in the 4th round. He caught his opponent on the elbow and he said it was excruciating pain. Luke, is that just something that you have to just grit your teeth and fight through?
Yeah, I mean, I only did a 4-rounder in my last fight, but when I hurt my hand in the 1st round, I never felt so much pain like that before. Oh, it was horrible. But you just have to grind it out. You just got to forget about everything and just carry on and just try and box your way. I mean, I seen Kane Gardner before stop my former opponent, and I'd like to think I would have done that if I had 2 hands, you know. So yeah, it does play a part.
Yeah, and James makes you laugh when you talk about it. You ask him about that hand, and he says, "Yeah, it was a nightmare because he hurt it when he dropped Nathan Hardy," and he said, "And Hardy got up, and he was a much better fighter when he'd been on the canvas than he was before." So he said he had one hand, and also his opponent stepped up in levels because he'd been dropped.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some tough opponents out there.
Yeah, Nathan Hardy's been around the scene, and he's one of those guys that he can beat you on his day. You know, if he turns up and he senses a weakness in you, he will capitalise on it and get the win.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. I think it's a good round that for James Moorcroft there, and I'd like to see him step go through the gears a bit in this next round now and put some more punches and more combinations together. But a nice cagey first round there.
I mean, the best thing with James Moorcroft, you can see that he's learning every time he gets in the ring. And, you know, after the Nathan Hardy fight, he wanted bigger titles, but Steve Wood and Lee Blundell held him back a little bit because he's still got a lot to learn. You know,
Of course.
I think he had something like 8 white collar fights before he turned pro. You know, it's not enough, that is it really?
Yeah, it's not a vast amount of experience, but like I said, that Nathan Hardy fight, that's no walkover in itself. That's a tough fight.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
So fair play to him for taking that fight so early in his career. And for a title as well.
Yeah, now we'll be looking to learn from this, and he's looked good so far behind that jab. Nice compact style, using boxing skills well.
And he's obviously trained by Lee and Luke Blundell, and he seems really dedicated to his training team.
Yeah.
He's always talking about them in
Got
interviews.
caught with a big right hand over the top there.
Yeah, if you get a few moments after tonight, me and Jay Whistle from the Wigan Observer went down and did a training session with James and Lee and Luke, and you can tell there's a real bond in that gym. You know, James is the only professional that they've got, but it's like father and son in there almost with Lee and James. They have that real bond and loyalty, and that's bringing him on as a fighter because he sees everything he learns from Lee, and Lee can mould James into the fighter he wants to be, and it's certainly working so far.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it looks like he's got a good team around him, and it's always good, and you got to have confidence in your coach. And do you know what I mean? It's like if you don't have that confidence and you don't believe, then you're not going to achieve your goals, are you? So, but I believe that he's got a good future in this sport, and he's putting some punches together. But his opponent's throwing a lot of overhand rights here, so he's got to be cautious of that.
Yeah, Trizno's just loading up on that overhand right, as you say. He's tapping himself on the chin a couple of times to try and gold Moorcroft in, maybe make a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a bit of a heavy puncher himself, to be honest.
Yeah, out of the 27 wins, he's got 7 of them have come by KO, so he can actually, as you say, he looks like he's got every hands when the opportunity arises.
Yeah, he's just looking for that overhand right. You'll see it shortly when they break. Obviously, James Moorcroft has got to be careful of that punch. Nice right hook himself there. Brilliant. Just keep him at range because this guy's just looking for one shot all the time, and do you know what I mean? I don't want him to be susceptible to that. So there it was there again, just missed with the right hand. He's got to be in and out and not waste his shots. Nice combination there, 3-punch combination.
I know James has been getting some good rounds up in the build. When I went up to the gym to see him, he'd just done 8 rounds with Kane Gardner, 8 competitive, tough rounds, and that's perfect sparring, isn't it? You know, competing at a high level there.
Of course, I mean, when I made my comeback fight, we had Kane in for my final sparring, and his weight rate's good, and I needed someone to come and throw punches at me and test my scars out on my face. And do you know what I mean? It's good. It's good sparring. Everyone bounces off each other, different styles, and it does stand you in good stead for these tough fights.
Took a couple of body shots there, Moorcroft, but he looks quite composed and relaxed. Maybe winning the title in his last fight has taken a bit weight off his shoulder, and he feels like he can relax more and he feels more like a professional boxer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but that also could work in a negative way. I mean, because he's got his belt now, he don't want his ambitions to drop. You know what I mean? And he's taking some big punches, but this is all part of the learning trade.
Yeah, and I think you're right there, Terry. I think it's a weight off James Moorcroft's shoulders because he seemed to say that when he got into the boxing, he just wanted a title. Now he's got that title, I think he's realised that he can go on to bigger and better things, and you know he needs to keep working hard and keep winning and just see where the journey takes him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you just got to keep going, keep grinding, keep listening to your coach and keep learning. They say practice makes perfect. If you look at Floyd Mayweather again, you know, and Vasyl Lomachenko, yeah, he lost his unbeaten record, but I believe he's the most perfect fighter in the world.
Who, James Moorcroft or Floyd Mayweather?
Vasyl Lomachenko. Well, this is a good performance from James Moorcroft. I know he took a few shots here and there, but this opponent he looks quite durable, quite tough.
And the main thing is he learns from the shots he takes and takes few of them as the fight goes on.
That's exactly it, and that's what his corner's job is to do, is to analyse that.
Nice sharp start to the round behind the jab.
5 stiff jabs there. When they say get behind that jab, that's what I mean, get behind your jab.
He's just looking to push Trizno back a little bit now, isn't he, behind that jab?
Yeah, definitely a bit of respect there as well, obviously he's admiring him.
This is obviously Moorcroft's fourth fight this year. You can really see it. He started off the year in February with a win over Danny Little. Then he fought Jordan Granham, who we saw earlier in May. Obviously the Nathan Hardy fight, and now this fight, number 4. He may even be able to get a 5th fight if the year goes the way he wants it to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of being active, but like myself, my career's been hindered here and there, injuries and my attack, you know. But I'd give it any advice to all the other fighters is try and be active as you can, because it's all experience. Even if you're not stepping up levels, you know, it's all experience.
And it gives the people who follow you a night out, and you can build on more fans, sell a few more tickets as well, the more active you are.
Yeah, I mean, I never used to go out, but I've been going out a lot recently, like just socialising, meeting new people and trying to improve my fan base. I mean, I've got a good fan base, and so is James Moorcroft in that sense. And I just think as long as you're being good, you're not getting in trouble, and you're staying out of the idiot's way, you know what I mean, then I'm not against that at all.
It was always a way of selling tickets in the past, going to local social clubs and pubs as well, and working men's clubs. And in the age of social media, people try and sell tickets online, but sometimes there's nothing like that face-to-face interaction with people.
Well, that's it. Look at Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton, he used to live in a pub, train in a pub. So, you know what I mean? It's just one of them things, I guess. But Moorcroft's definitely got a good following, and he's throwing a few nice body shots. Nice pivot off there. Looked a little bit low, but it was a nice move.
Yeah, Trizno looks a bit frustrated with that, but
he's a tough opponent.
Oh, that's another overhand right, as you mentioned before. That one bounced off the top of Moorcroft's head. Oh, and another big one to the chin.
He's just looking for that one punch all night. If you're going that, you want to get out of the way of that, go to your right and maybe try fake him, draw him. But he's definitely got to keep his chin down, because that's the shot you got to watch out for, the ones you don't see coming.
Yeah, and Lee Blundell's just calling for Moorcroft to keep his hands up. He needs to be catching these shots. He's not going to get out of the way of him. He wants to catch him on his gloves.
And if he can't, that body shot looked to hurt him then. He dropped his hand and smiled, and I think he definitely hurt him. But going back to that point there with the overhand right, Luke, I think if he's not catching him, he's definitely got to be out of the range. Maybe step round to his right, you know, because that's the shot he just seems to be throwing at the moment, is the overhand right.
Yeah, and Moorcroft's took him well so far, but it only takes one shot, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. One shot can change a fight, mate. We all know that. Beautiful pivot there. Look to avert him, that.
As you say, he re-established himself at the end of the round. Moorcroft took a couple of overhand rights, but then made his opponent know that he was still the man in there.
Like we spoke about earlier, taking the odd shot now and again, it's not always a bad thing.
He's only 25 as well, Moorcroft, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why they're reining him back a little bit. He's still got plenty of time. And this is a big learning curve for him, because he's taking some big shots in there tonight.
Particularly that second overhand right, that one went right to the chin.
Yeah. Just a little warning from James Moorcroft for punching low. I'm not sure there's too much in that, to be honest.
Yeah, it was unintentional, you know what I mean? Just because obviously James is pivoting off and the angles and stuff like that.
He starts the round very well, doesn't he, behind that jab? He just needs to keep it up. Just control the fight with that jab.
Yeah, of course. That's it. If it's working for him, so he needs to use it, do you know what I mean? And I'm sure his corner know that. He don't want to punch himself out and open himself up for them overhand rights, because that's all his opponent seems to be looking for at this moment, is that shot.
And looking through Trizno's record, there's no sign of any WBC fights along the way, so maybe he nicked those shots from a dressing room in Ontario, and that's why he's banned.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, you can hear the corner still calling for him to just raise that left hand, you know, to catch the right hand over the top. If the left hand's on your chin, there we go. He caught that one nicely.
Yeah, that's what Moorcroft needs to do. He needs to get out of range, and he's loading up with every shot. Trizno, he's loading up with every shot. So with him getting out of range and he's just missing, he's going to tire himself out, and that'll work in Moorcroft's favour.
And as you say, Moorcroft's getting his jab out quickly, but more importantly, getting the jab back in quickly as well, so he's not leaving too much of a gap in this round.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's landing some nice punches now, and Obviously, he went flying off balance there, did Trizno, but he's just got to be careful of that overhand right.
The one criticism I'd have of James is when he throws, the left hand seems to drop. And it happens with a lot of fighters, but every time he throws, there you go, the left hand drops, and it leaves him open to that right hand over the top.
Of course, and like we said, it only takes one punch. And
Nice right uppercut there by Moorcroft. Trizno ducked a little bit under the force of that one.
yeah, he wanted to hold there a little bit. Nice shot right up. Doesn't need to be standing in front of him, maybe step around him, because that right hook over the top is a very dangerous punch.
The uppercut seems to be working for Moorcroft. They're both hands ripping it through the guard.
Yeah, you want to hit him outside and bring him up the middle, and he seems to be doing that at the moment. But you don't want to stand in front of Trizno. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, you know what I mean? It's a good performance so far, so it's a good tough fight. It's a good tough fight, and it's good for Moorcroft, this fight. It's definitely a good learning experience.
Yeah, and they'll certainly watch this back and see there's things to work on.
Yeah, of course, but it's the same with every fight. Every fighter's got something to work on, and if the coaches are happy with it and not happy with it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this is a good performance from Moorcroft.
Yeah, and this is exactly why they don't want to rush James, because they know there's still things to work on. You know, we've seen that tonight, but I mean, it seems like we're being quite critical of him. He's been good in there. He's picked his shots nicely. It's just these little things that he needs to work on.
Yeah, the right uppercut, sometimes he's tried it when there's no reason for him to try it because it's not there for him, so he just maybe needs to work on disguising the right uppercut instead of just trying it a couple of times in a row when there's no openings there.
Yeah, the last 5 seconds now coming down to the end of the round. Good round of boxing there from both of the lads.
And I think Moorcroft's certainly winning the fight, there's no doubt about that.
But it's competitive though.
Yeah, exactly.
The other opponents throwing punches, heavy punches. And sometimes it can catch the judge's eye, but I do think Moorcroft is controlling this fight.
He's just got to close this fight out now, hasn't he? You know, get the win, regroup, and learn from it.
And as you say, Trizno with the right hand wasn't there for him as much that round, so we'll have to see what he comes up with in this round. He boxes a lot on the road to Lithuania, and he went back to Lithuania recently and registered the rare win. He won over 4 rounds in May against Arvydas, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the surname, but he got a little win there for himself in Lithuania back home.
Yeah, sometimes that can give you a bit of confidence as well, and when you come to these big shows, it might spur you on to do a bigger performance.
Yeah, quite often with these journeymen, when you see the wins, they're quite often close together, aren't they? You know, they win one and think, I'm going to have a real go this week, and you know, get another one under the belt.
Oh, nice 1-2 there.
He looks a bit energised at the start of this round, Moorcroft.
There we go. He tucked up nicely then and caught all the shots on arms.
Yeah, he caught them all then, yeah. Just got to be careful here. Break clean there. There you go.
He's very clever on the inside, Moorcroft, as well. He'll always pin his opponent to the ropes. No matter where he's in the ring, he'll always turn his opponent. There we go. He's pushing him backwards. Always tries to get his opponent moving backwards when they're clinching.
Yeah, he cut the ring off nice there as well.
And he's got 3 inches on his opponent, so he needs to be making use of that as well. The height difference is always beneficial.
I mean, I know it's always horrible. It looks like it's hurting me. His opponent was wincing there a little bit. Oh.
Switches southpaw briefly. Moorcroft looking maybe to get an angle for a few more openings.
Yeah, this opponent could cause some upsets, you know, against the fighters who've got leaky defences, because he seems to throw some heavy punches. But this is a good opponent for James Moorcroft in his career so far.
Yeah, it's the perfect opponent really for this stage.
Definitely.
And as you say, adapting from the white collar background as well is always a big transition. A lot of fighters go into white collar when they've retired as professionals, but he's done it by the opposite route.
Definitely, even in the amateurs as well. It's a lot now. The professional boxing is a lot slower. There's a lot more meter punches. There's more headbutts. There's more elbows. It's nice body shot there.
Yeah, and Lee Blundell sends all his younger kids to do white collar fights instead of the amateurs. You know, he seems to prefer that route, and it certainly worked with James. You know, some people within boxing disagree with the white collar guys turning professional, but it worked for some guys, and you know, James Moorcroft's one of them.
Yeah, well, his opponent was looking to hold there. I think the corner are looking for the uppercut in this round. I think they're trying to tee him up to throw the uppercut.
It looks like in the middle of all that as well, Moorcroft caught Trizno on the elbow and just gave his own right hand a little shake. Maybe a flashback to his previous fight.
I think Trizno, he might have a slight injury to his back. I'm not too sure, but he was wincing on the ropes then, and I just think that I think he might have missed a few punches and maybe caused himself an injury. But he don't seem to be liking it in there, and I think Moorcroft could actually take him out.
Yeah, and I think James has sensed that a little bit as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's stepped up a little bit now.
Well, this also could be tactics for James's opponent, Trizno. Trizno could be just playing up to it, you know.
Just keep a close eye on him in the corner here. He doesn't seem too bothered when he's sat down there in his corner.
No.
We'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, there's only one round to go. That's a big thing as well, isn't it? You know, we can see the finish line now.
Of course, and he'll go into full survival mode if I'm not wrong. And it's been another performance from James Moorcroft tonight.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what James does in this final round. Is it more of the same? Does he gamble, or does he just consolidate what he's already got in the bank?
I think he should just keep doing what he's doing, keep switched on more important than anything, keep his defence and just like I said, see the round out, and if the stoppage is there, you know, you go after it. But yeah, I think he should just keep doing what he's doing because he's boxing really well.
Second time for the sixth and final round.
There was some look there between the two fighters at the end. Moorcroft gave the referee a bit of a tap as well. I suppose it wasn't a group hug.
Yeah, I mean, in there, I mean, your opponent is your opponent, you know. Before it, there's no bad blood. After it, there's no bad blood. It's just your job at the end of the day. You know, I'm sure you go and buy him a pint afterwards, you know. It's just one of them things. Boxing, it's a tough man's sport. You got to be tough to do it. And
Trizno's still going with that overhand right, but he's been very little success. So it's good that Moorcroft learned his lesson from
definitely
the third and previous rounds.
Yeah, round 2, round 3 onwards, he's definitely seen that overhand right coming more now. And yeah, I think the corner have clicked on with that as well. Like I said, in the early stage, it was quite competitive. The last 2 rounds, he's just basically shut up the shop. And yeah.
This is better for Moorcroft. He's landing his shots and getting out of range, and then keeping busy as well, using his footwork nicely.
What I'm liking about Moorcroft's performance tonight is he's dictating the pace. Do you know what I mean? He's forcing it now. It's not the other way around, and I think that's a good sign of experience that he's gathered tonight. Like, he's controlling it in there, and he's not in any danger now. Trizno's looking to clinch it yet again, and I just think like Moorcroft's punches that are actually getting to him in this round now.
Yeah, he certainly punches hard, Moorcroft. No, he dropped Nathan Hardy last time out. Not many people do that.
Oh no, Nathan's a tough man. So
I think Trizno's reached the point now where he's had a little go there. He's probably punching more out of frustration than anything else, based on what we've seen in the past 2 rounds.
Yeah, he's definitely earned his money though, that's for sure. I mean, he's been on both sides of it. He's through the punches and he's got caught with some punches. So nice body shot. Caught that left up as well.
And he's going into the last minute now, Moorcroft, and like you say, he threw some nice jabs there, nice body shot, and he's still working his way inside.
Oh, nice body shot. So we're approaching the last 30 seconds of this fight now, and I just think this has been another great performance from Moorcroft. It's definitely a great learning fight for him anyway, and I think, like you said Luke, I think he'll look back on this and he'll learn from it.
Yeah, and there's plenty of positives to take as well. Don't get me wrong, but there's some things to learn from, and you know, James, one of those guys, he wants to learn from every fight, and he'll take a lot away from this. It's been a tough 6 rounds.
Yeah, definitely, but he's covered it well. He took over the fight, and it was his fight to lose, and obviously he's not lost anything. So yeah, it's been a very good fight for James Moorcroft tonight.
Approaching the final seconds, and there we go, another win for James Moorcroft, I'd say. Trizno's one-man fight against the Ontario Athletic Commission continues as he gets another fight under his belt. So
yeah, I'm eager to see what that is.
He's a bit of a renegade by the sounds of it, but he came tonight through a few overhand rights, and like you say, he was tough. He gritted his teeth, even though when he looked uncomfortable in rounds 5 onwards.
And he'll certainly be happy with that one, no doubt about that. We'll just wait for the official announcement from the referee. Don't think there's any doubt about the result. We'll hand it over to the MC, Michael Bass, to announce the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 hard-fought rounds of international action, star referee John Latham has scored the contest 60 points to 55 points for your winner. Now undefeated in 8 professional contests, hailing from Wigan, James Moorcroft. And a fine effort from Lithuania's Arvydas Trizno.
So no for win for James.